Hey guys, it's Protendo, and I kind of just wanted to make a sort of, off-the-cuff video about the Nintendo Direct Mini we just got, like no script. Just want to talk to you guys about my thoughts and feelings, what I thought was good, what I thought was bad, if I thought the Direct in general was good or bad. Spoiler alert, I did not enjoy it that much. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is that I don't think there's any problem with, after every Direct, you always have people that are upset, but then you also have the people that are like, oh, you've been waiting for this long to get a Direct, and then you're upset just because you didn't get the stuff that you wanted. Like, this is all Nintendo fans do, blah, blah, blah. You know how it is. You guys have seen it. But, in this situation particularly, you have even more people than usual that are doing the whole, oh, you guys said you wanted a Direct, you've been begging for a Direct, and now that you've gotten one, you're upset with it? This is why Nintendo fans suck, like that whole thing. So, I kind of just wanted to talk about that as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with being upset with the Direct, or being disappointed, rather. And that's because obviously we know that some announcements have been delayed, or even games maybe, we're not entirely sure, have been delayed because of the pandemic. We know this. They even put that in at the beginning of the Direct, like this is something that's known. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that there's a difference between being disappointed with the Direct and being disappointed with Nintendo. You do have the people online that are like, oh, Nintendo, I'll never forgive you for this, we waited this long for this, like blah blah blah. As for me, and I'm sure many others, we understand how the pandemic is affecting the gaming market. Like, we understand why this Direct wasn't as good as it could have been, but that doesn't mean we have to like it, per se. Do you know what I mean? Like, we know why it was bad. Well, I mean, I think it was bad. You guys maybe think it was good. I don't know. But, we know, just because we know why it was a certain way, doesn't mean we have to immediately have positive feelings towards it. I was expecting, just a few days ago I made a video about why the next Nintendo Direct would be huge, and then they go ahead and make a literal mini Direct, which I thought was pretty funny. But, it is genuinely concerning for this year in regards to Nintendo, because, think of it this way, Nintendo, like I said in my other video, Nintendo isn't the type of company that reveals games and releases them, a few months, 2 months later or something. They did that with Super Mario Party, I think, but that's not a huge title. Mario Parties come out, every other year. They usually take at least half a year, mostly, most times longer than that. So, the fact that there were no first-party... That's the reason I was disappointed with this Direct. No first-party announcements whatsoever, or new first-party releases, rather. We have the Smash reveal, which I'll discuss later, but no first-party game announcements whatsoever, which is hugely disappointing, because this means that, assuming that Nintendo's next presentation is near what E3 would have been, which is June, at the earliest, if we follow Super Mario Party's system, which released in September, and that was a tiny game, mind you, if at the earliest the next first-party game announcement that's actually a big, large title could be seen in September, meaning that between now and August, all we have is Animal Crossing and Xenoblade, which, I love Animal Crossing. New Horizons is fantastic. My first impressions video is on the way, gonna come out earlier in April. But the fact that we only have 2 games, one of which is a remake. Xenoblade has some extra stuff on it. I haven't played the original. I'm excited to pick up this one, so that has extra stuff, I know. But, it's still a remaster of an already existing title. Animal Crossing New Horizons is the only original creation from Nintendo to come out this year, which is crazy when you think that it's going to be the only one, unless they announce something randomly, in 8 months. It's a little disappointing when you remember that 2019 had Yoshi's Crafted World, Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Link's Awakening, other games I'm sure I'm forgetting, that was a packed year. 2017 was even better. But even though 2018 felt a little emptier, it was definitely better than what we currently have right now. There were... I forget how many games were in the first half of that year, but I'm pretty sure it was more than 2, one of which being a remaster. There's nothing wrong with the games that Nintendo has right now, I want to make that very clear. Like I said, I love Animal Crossing, Xenoblade looks fantastic, I've wanted to play that game for so long, and I'm excited that I'm finally getting the chance in a definitive edition. But the fact that there's only 2, that's my main problem. And going into this direct, I didn't expect a Smash reveal. I didn't expect anything like that. I was looking for maybe 1 or 2 first-party announcements, stuff to look forward to in the future of 2020. I even expected to see the holiday title because in previous Switch years, they were all announced in the first 3 months of the year. So, I thought this is lining up perfectly. And of course, holiday titles are always Nintendo's biggest products. Smash Ultimate, you have Mario Odyssey, you have Pokemon Sword and Shield. They're all, despite what you think of the quality of some of those games, they're all huge. They've all sold incredibly well. I think they're all top 5 now. I don't know if Pokemon's top 5 yet, but it's gonna get there. So, I did have high expectations for this direct, and I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with going into it wanting a lot, especially in this scenario where it's been over 200 days since the last Nintendo Direct. And I did get a little worried when I saw that it was called Direct Mini because, I noticed that it was close to half an hour in length, and I was like, wasn't the other Direct Mini less than 20 minutes? This can't be that mini of a Direct. And then soon after, I realized that it was actually mini in terms of announcements. Nintendo realized this. That's why they titled it as a mini. If that presentation was the same length and had 2 or 3 bombshell announcements, it would have just been a regular Nintendo Direct. And even in terms of being a Direct Mini, I didn't think this was anything fantastic. I'm pretty sure the January 2018 one had way more reveals and just a lot in it, packed into a much shorter time frame. No offense to those games or those developers or anything, but with this Nintendo Direct Mini, about a third way through the presentation, I remembered, oh yeah, this isn't live streamed. I can just skip through the things I'm not interested in. And that turned a half an hour presentation into around 15 minutes, Let's talk about the Smash reveal. Okay, that's the biggest thing in this Direct Mini. It's very forced, it did not feel natural whatsoever. Smash reveals are a big part of Nintendo's announcements or presentations. So it was a little strange to just be here's Fighter Pass 6, and then the character in Fighter Pass 6 is, it was, they should have build up. And I know why they did this. They had nothing else in the presentation. So they were okay, we need something to put in this Direct Mini so that people aren't too upset. Put the next Smash reveal in there. It'll get some people happy. People won't think this Direct is complete garbage. So, I see why they did it. But the overall announcement was just, I couldn't even process it. I was watching it, and I heard the next Fighter's Pass character is, and I was like, wait, what? I still wasn't into it. And that kind of carried into when I saw the character. But speaking of the character, an ARMS character is not a bad idea. I'll say that for sure. They're definitely going to be a lot of fun. And I said this in a community post a few weeks or months ago, I think. But the reason why I didn't enjoy the first Fighter's Pass a lot is because a lot of the characters within it just felt like dudes, It's just random guys. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not special because, Joker, he has that whole cognitive world thing. I haven't played Persona 5, but it looks awesome. He has Arsene and all that. And Terry, he has all of his special moves and stuff. Hero's got the menu selection, awesome, completely probably one of my favorite characters in the past. And then you have Byleth, which, we don't need to bring up that beef again. You know how I feel about Byleth if you've been here for a while. Not that positive towards them. But Banjo was actually, I haven't even played Banjo-Kazooie, but that was the character I was most excited about in the past because it was a break from just these human guys. So I don't know. Springman, maybe he's human. I don't know ARMS lore. He's probably human, but the fact that he has these stretchy, wacky arms, that's what I think Smash Bros. Is about. Not only is it a crossover, but it's also about these wacky matchups, and I really missed that in the first Fighter's Pass. So an ARMS character, definitely gonna be great. And also, if it ends up being Springman, then that opens the door to all other assist trophies to be promoted. So, Waluigi fans are going to rejoice if that ends up being the case. I personally think that Ribbon Girl is probably the most likely, especially considering we haven't had a full-on female fighter in any of the passes yet. So, Ribbon Girl would be great. I think she has multiple jumps as well. That could be interesting. But I think it's going to be Springman or Ribbon Girl. Helix would be the best choice, in my humble opinion. Helix would be amazing because that's just wackiness up to 11. That'd be great. Do I see that happening? No, I don't think he's popular enough. And I think that in this situation, popularity does matter at least a little bit, The most popular ARMS characters are what? Springman, Ribbon Girl, Min Min, and Twintel, I would say. You see a lot of love for those characters, even though the game has been relatively dead for the past 3 years. So I feel like one of those people is the most likely. Probably Ribbon Girl. Maybe Springman gets upgraded, who knows. But yeah, just a great addition, I think. They're definitely going to be fun to play. However, I do feel like they could have been placed somewhere else in the past to make them feel more natural, you know? Like, for example, not to bring up beef again, but you did have Byleth as the last character in the first Fighters Pass, and the reaction to Byleth, as we all know, was not very positive. So I almost assumed that they were gonna have to have, you know, a big third-party character to start off this pass like they did the last one with Joker, so that people can sort of get over Byleth, you know? Not that Byleth is a terrible character or anything. If you like Byleth, then good for you. Like, I'm glad you got another character that you wanted. But, you know, the overall reaction to them was incredibly mixed. So overall, I was expecting someone more universally loved and maybe more expected, you know, Geno, Steve, Crash Bandicoot. Someone that would be praised by the Smash community, and it sort of, you know, doesn't not to ruin Byleth's reveal or anything, but, you know, the people that liked Byleth, they're happy, and then you have the rest of the people in the community who are also happy afterwards. That's what I expected. Springman, or whoever the ARMS character is, like I said, great character. Don't know if it's the right time. I'm definitely going to enjoy playing as them. I'm not a huge ARMS fan, but, you know, I think it's a creative character, and they're going to be a lot of fun to use. So yeah, those are pretty much my feelings towards this Nintendo Direct Mini. I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you think it was disappointing? Do you think it was amazing? What do you think about Springman? Why do I keep saying Springman? What do you think about the ARMS character that we're going to get into the game? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Protendo, out.